Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Recettear, Adventure Examination. So in the last video or so, we just got Elan. So let's go ahead and take a look at him. Alright, so here's Elan. Elan is a monk, martial artist. Well, first of all I should explain. If you don't know, in Adventure Examination, I take a look at the different adventurers and I talk about how you can get them through the game, or, you know, like how you can get them to show up, how you get their guild cards, special attacks, what I feel are their strengths and weaknesses. A lot of the information is taken from the wiki, and some of it is conjecture on my part, especially with the characters I haven't really played quite so much, Elan being one of them. But like I said, this time we're taking a look at Elan. He first shows up in the game at the pub during one of Charm's events. And then later, when you go to the Merchant's Guild, you'll be asked to take a package to the orphanage where you'll run into Elan again, and then after that he'll show up regularly in the game. And he'll show up at your shop if the atmosphere is right for him, which I forget exactly what that is, or if you fill your shelves with candy, because Elan loves candy. He's a big child. But he uses martial arts. He fights with a series of punches. That does give him the shortest range, but he is very fast and hits very hard, so it's a pretty decent trade-off. Obviously his weapon of choice is his fists, so he uses gloves to protect them and give his punches just a little bit of extra oomph, depending on which gloves he has. He can dash run, but he cannot charge direction. He can only go whichever direction you have him go. You can't have him change mid-run. The upside to that is if you manage to run into someone, which I missed, they do take a little bit of damage from that hit. So let's get right to the punching. So as you can see, he does a 1-2 punch. The first one has almost no knockback, but the second punch will do a wider area of effect and does more damage. I forget exactly how much, though. He has the highest HP out of all the adventurers, and pretty decent defense. So he's a little bit of a tank, but not for the same reasons that Louis is. Louis, I should have mentioned this in the Louis exam. Louis is a tank, but because Louis is only a tank because he can use heavy armor, whereas Elan cannot. So yeah, as you can see, the first one does almost no knockback, if any knockback at all. But yeah, so you know, punches. Where Elan really kind of stands out is with his specials. The downside is, well, first of all, his specials are the Flame Charge, the Fist Flurry, and Berserk. He has the downside is that even though his specials are, you know, pretty useful, he doesn't have a whole lot of SP, so you kind of have to be a little bit conservative with how you use them. But first up, of the actual explanations, is the Flame Charge. Now, Flame Charge works almost exactly the same as Charms, although it's a little slower to activate, and it doesn't do a whole lot of damage because Elan's magic stat is very low. So it's really only useful for like when you're surrounded or if you're in a bad situation, you gotta get out of there. But let's see what it looks like, because he actually has a really long range. See? So, didn't do a whole lot of damage, but it's not bad. Up next is Fist Flurry. Now this move is really bitchin'. It's really cool, but it eats up your SP. It costs like 20 SP, I think. But basically, Elan will run forward and try to hit something. If he connects, then he will let loose a flurry. See, Fist Flurry. He'll let loose a flurry of blows. They'll all deal normal damage, and the last one will do double damage. During the little animation that he does, let's see if we can find a guy to hit. Here we go. Boom. Yeah, during that animation, he's invincible. Nothing can hurt him. So it's pretty awesome. Last up is Berserk. This is learned at level 20, unlike Flame Charge and Fist Fury, which he starts with. It costs 5 SP. When activated, he does way more damage than normal, only takes half damage and can't be knocked back. The downside to it is you can't heal because you can't use any items, so you're kind of locked into what you use. So it activates, and as you can see, he does way more damage. It only lasts 9 seconds though, so you gotta be a little quick. Okay, let's activate this bad boy again. Boom! See, he's a beast! But yeah, so that is Elan. He's a pretty, you know, I know I say this every time, but you know, if he fits your style, he's a pretty decent adventurer. The only real drawback I feel is his short range. So I mean, because of that, you have to get really close with your, you have to get right up in their face, real up close and personal. But other than that, I mean, you know, he's a pretty decent guy to have, and he's really easy to get too. So I mean, there's no like, honestly, in my opinion, one of the hardest spare adventurers to get is Nagi, but I'll go into that once we do her explanation. But anyway, this has been Let's Play Recettear Adventure Examination. Thank you very much for watching, and join me next time.